Genocide by Mason, Ryan, Harry, and John Paul. Where and when did the genocide occur? The genocide occurred in Cambodia, but under the Khmer Rouge rule, it was called the Democratic of Kampuchea. Who was involved? There were two main groups involved in the genocide. The Khmer Rouge regime, which leader was Pol Pot, communist, and the Cambodian people, who were the revolutionaries. Why did the genocide occur? The genocide occurred because the Khmer Rouge was trying to take over Cambodia to become a communist country. The people of Cambodia did not want this because they were farmers, so they decided to revolt against the leader, Pol Pot.
Location of the genocide. The genocide mostly took place in southern Cambodia. Cambodia is located in the South Asian peninsula. The map on the right shows the location of the majority of deaths shown. In blue is the concentration of most deaths. How the world reacted. The U.S. had lost against the enemy troops in Southeast Asia, so little was done to help the citizens of Cambodia. The U.S. and other nations took the Cambodian refugees in.
The details of the Cambodian genocide. Around 21% of the Cambodian population was killed, which was estimated at 1.5 to 3 million people in total. In 1953, Cambodia declared independence from France after 100 years under the colonist rule. In 1970, Cambodia declared neutrality when Vietnam and the U.S. went to war.
The stages of genocide in Cambodia. The Cambodian genocide started in 1975 during the Vietnam War. The communist group Khmer Rouge were the perpetrators and the innocent Cambodian citizens, the victims. The Khmer Rouge believed that people had been affected and exposed to the outside ideas from the Vietnam War. They killed and targeted educated people for a competition-free society. Victims were separated by race, nationality, religion, political beliefs, and class. These targeted traits associated with imperialism or disloyalty to Cambodia. The second stage of genocide, symbolization. Everyone of a religious or ethnic minority was killed. All who were educated, spoke a foreign language, or wore glasses were arrested, tortured, and murdered. The glasses symbolized that the wearer could read and proved that they were too educated for the competition-free society the Khmer Rouge was trying to achieve. The third stage of genocide, dehumanization. The Khmer Rouge dehumanized the Cambodian society by making a false statement that they were influenced by the Vietnamese people and helping them in the war against the Americans. They first started to kill the educated people that have any interference in the genocide. In order to achieve the ideal communist model, they believed that all of the Cambodian people needed to do labor work in one large federation of farms. The Khmer Rouge also interrogated its own people and executed members on suspicions of sabotage. The only way to ensure your survival is by working a lot. Even the old, handicapped, and ill had to work, and the children suffered from not knowing how to do a lot of stuff. People who refused to leave their hometowns and villages were killed on sight, and whoever looked like they were against the regime. They also killed people who were speaking a foreign language, wearing glasses, smiling, or crying. The fourth stage of genocide, organization. They first made the kids separated from the parents to make the parents sad and work for them to get their kids back. And they made rankings for people who were helping in the genocide. They didn't have the kids and the adults together. They also documented people who were in the concentration camps. They also evacuated Phnom Penh. The old people were the peasant class and the new people were the city dwellers. The next stage of genocide is polarization. While many died, those who survived had a tough battle. Since survival in Khmer Rouge depended on your ability to work, anyone old, handicapped, ill, and children suffered an enormous amount of sabotage and torture. Cambodians that survived the purges and marches became unpaid laborers working on minimum rations for limitless hours. They were forced to live in communes, which were similar to military barracks. The next stage of genocide is preparation. Those who survived were brought to public communes, which were similar to military barracks. Since they worked endless hours and were given little food, the public communes weren't enough to support life. The next stage of genocide is extermination. Children would be separated from their parents and sent into labor camps. If you were not killed, you would be sent away to a labor camp. You would be tortured and fed a horrible diet, and you would receive no pay at all. People would die of executions, diseases, starvation, exhaustion. The Khmer Rouge would also brainwash children into becoming a part of their group. They taught them to hate their parents, and many of the children victims were actually their parents. The Cambodians were tortured in various ways, including electric shock, hanging, searing people with hot metal instruments, and they would also drown them, pull out their nails, cut them, pour alcohol in the open wounds so it would burn. Khmer Rouge's motto was to spare you is no profit, to destroy is no loss. During the Cambodian genocide, which lasted 5 years from 1975 to 1979, around 1.7 million lives were lost. That is 21% of Cambodia's population. If people did not leave their homes fast enough, they would be killed right on the spot. Before the victims were tortured and murdered, they were all photographed. The Khmer Rouge would basically torture their victims for any reason, if they coughed, sneezed, snored, or laughed. The final stage of genocide, denial. At the beginning of 1995, mass graves were uncovered in Cambodia that brought the perpetrating group to justice, but it has been difficult to prove. The UN called for a Khmer Rouge tribunal in 1994. The trials later began in November 2007 and continued through 2010. The mass graves that were uncovered later became a memorial for all the victims who have lost their lives, and their photos are on the walls.
Diaspora. Diaspora is the separation of a specific group of people from their homeland or origins. Nationalism. Nationalism is the belief that a specific group of individuals are of greater importance compared to other groups. Holocaust. Holocaust is the destruction or slaughter on a mass scale of a specific group of individuals.
How to prevent genocide. We can give world leaders the ability to interfere and control the situation. We could also demand action against those who oppress and end the problem. We could also prevent genocides by using the basic human rights to defend those who are oppressed.